Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Indeed, the week after we have the Australian Local Government Association here in Canberra, it is somewhat ironic that the member for Mackellar has brought forward a motion to this parliament supporting the role of local government. Because what used to happen when I was the Minister for Local Government, when ALGA gathered here, was we would have the Australian Council of Local Government meet with the entire Cabinet, as well as members of Parliament, have discussions with the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, the Finance Minister, as well as the Local Government Minister and people directly involved. They would meet for 2 days with a function in the evening which would involve every single mayor and shire president around the country, regardless of what their politics were. And, Mr Deputy Speaker, this was an initiative that was welcomed by local government, and in spite of some reticence, it must be said, from some of my colleagues when it was proposed, they recognised that it was extremely valuable to get that direct input here in Canberra over that period of time. We also created the Centre of Excellence for Local Government to drive best practice. We created the Regional and Local Community Infrastructure Program, whereby every single council in the country benefited, including in the council which the member for Mackellar spoke about, the upgrade around Narrabeen Lakes, the upgrade around the Manly foreshores, the upgrade of the cricket pavilion at Manly as well in the electorate of Warringah. We actually delivered infrastructure funding for communities, not just in marginal electorates as electoral fodder, but in every electorate around the country, because we treated local government with respect. That's why we wanted to recognise local government in the Australian Constitution. To give credit where it's due, Barnaby Joyce strongly supported that as the then federal shadow minister for local government. But the Liberals, we couldn't get across the line to recognise and enshrine with respect local government so that they didn't exist solely at the whim of state governments, who now can cut their funding, can amalgamate councils without any reference to the actual constituents, as happened to my council, the Inner West Council, whereby 3 effective local governments in Marrickville, Leichhardt and Ashfield were amalgamated without any reference to the voters whatsoever. And indeed, we had an appointed administrator of that council elected by nobody, no previous involvement in local government, who was effectively a dictator for the Inner West for 18 months before elections were held. And that was, of course, under the New South Wales Liberal government, of which Mr Falinski, the member for Mackellar, is of course a great supporter. The resolution here also supports the Black Spot program, which we support, but there's a 33% underspend in that program. It mentions the Bridges Renewal program, but doesn't mention that there's a 53% underspend in that program. It also mentions the Roads of Strategic Importance initiative. What it doesn't mention, though, is that 85% of that funding flows after 2023. So not this term, not the next term, not really even for most of the term after, before all but 15% of that funding flows. Now, I am a genuine supporter of local government. I think that local government, as the area of government that is closest to local communities, can play a great role in determining what the priorities of those local communities are. That's why under our program, the Regional Local Community Infrastructure Program, it had to be nominated, projects had to be nominated by local government. Under this government's regional program, it's a few cabinet ministers sitting in a corner. 3 cabinet ministers get to determine where all the funding goes. No reference to the community whatsoever. Local government deserves proper respect They deserve the sentiments that are in this motion, but they deserve much better from this government.